Hello, welcome back. Last time out, we beat Sheffield United to take us through to the quarter-final of the FA Cup, further than we've ever been before. But who will we play in the quarter-final of this year's FA Cup? Hello and welcome to episode 119 of From the Bottom to the Top, as we try and take a National League South side, in this case a Weymouth, from the bottom all the way up to the top. And this is our journey. My name's Mark, and on today's episode we have for you two games as is usual, but first we're going to have the draw for the quarter-final of the FA Cup to find out who will be playing in the second game of today's episode. I'll hand you to past Mark. Well, thank you to future Mark for that, and yes, here is the draw for the Emirates FA Cup. And it's quarterfinals. We've never been to the quarterfinals before. Having said that, we did get knocked out of the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup this season. So maybe there's a bit of a hoodoo around the quarterfinals. We'll see who we've got to play first before making that a final thought. So the teams still left in the competition: Arsenal, Blackburn, Chelsea, Everton, Manchester City, Manchester United, Tottenham and Weymouth. Apart from us, everybody else are from the Premier League. As I said before, we have to beat these sides if we are going to succeed in the Premier League. So none of them should be daunting. We're in a position in the Championship where we should be able to at least compete with some of these sides. So let's get the draw underway. First team out, Tottenham. So the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Who's going to visit there? It's going to be Blackburn. And that's the team that really we wanted, possibly at home, would have been a good draw for us. But we've not got it, which means we've either got Arsenal, Chelsea, Everton, Manchester City or Manchester United. Who's going to be second out then? It's Manchester United, Old Trafford. A trip to Old Trafford for Everton, which leaves us with Arsenal, Chelsea or Manchester City in this draw. We are out. We're at the Bob Lucus. Who is coming to visit? It's Arsenal. We're playing big boys Arsenal at the Bob Lucas for this one, which leaves Chelsea and Manchester City to play one another. Chelsea will be playing at Stamford Bridge against Manchester City. The whole draw: Tottenham versus Blackburn, Manchester United versus Everton, Weymouth will play Arsenal, and Chelsea will play Manchester City. I'll hand you back to future Mark, who will show you what that looks like in the schedule. Well, thank you to past Mark for that. And yes, the draw for the quarter-final of the FA Cup has given us Arsenal, Premier League fodder wherever we think. But as I said, if we want to be in the Premier League next season, we're going to have to play these teams. And so we face Arsenal in that quarter-final at the Bob Lucas. Can we go and get a result and take us through to the semi-final for the first time ever? We'll find out one way or another. Our other game is against Burnley, currently third in the Sky Bet Championship. And this is how the Championship looks going into today's games. But we have played one game since you were last with us. It was a game against Plymouth. And with just a minute on clock, Johnson with a throw, and he's chipped this one wide, and Cooper in the Plymouth goal, coming out and collecting. The ball punted forward. The Bayo is underneath it. The Bayo forward to Lawrence. Lawrence finds De Bayo. De Bayo to O'Grady-Macken. O'Grady-Macken out to Derry. Derry into the area. It's defended well. Derry gets a second bite of the cherry. O'Grady-Macken through to Derry. Derry into the area. Nzingo putting it away. And Nzingo giving us a 1-0 lead. 32 on the clock, and it's been pretty even Stevens up until now. And they're looking for a way through. McGrath is in, but it's well defended. Quite sure who that was out there defending. I think it was Lawrence. And we forced them back for the moment. This ball through McAteer, but it's cut out by Joe. And he defended that well. McGrath is down injured. And a shot goes over the top. So as McGrath goes off a corner, because the goalkeeper pushed that one over the top. Henderson with the corner. It's swung into the near post, but Nzingo is there and defends well. Derry heading it on. And into the second half we go, and a corner in. It's again defended well. Adamson. Joe! But it's over the top. Corner from the other side. Derry swings it in. It's come back off the woodwork. And they managed to scramble it away. Cooper with a goal kick. 67 on the clock. Jurich. O'Grady-Macken. O'Grady-Macken comes forward. And Johnson giving that ball away. Whittaker back to the goalkeeper, who launches one high. DeBeo underneath that. Brings it down very neatly. DeBeo. Oh, DeBeo's lost the ball. Sawyers comes forward. Reed. Whittaker. And Johnson brings down Whittaker. It's going to be a red card. He's sent off on 68 minutes. Corner from Henderson. Swung in. Defended. Wakachu under that. Whittaker. DeBeo gets us out. We're on a counter. Jurich. Derry. Through to Wakachu. Wakachu has a shot from distance. So it's gone wide. And that's how it ended, by that single goal. We had plenty of shots, 19 of them, 6 of which were on target. 2.16 should have got second goal by all accounts. 59% of the possession. Plymouth had 11 shots. They weren't poor, 4 of which were on target. 0.84. Yale Virginia having a good game in goal. And 41% of the possession. Really should have won that game by a bigger margin, especially against the side currently at the bottom of the table. But we beat them, we did, which was good news. Jesse Derry getting a player of the match, an 8.1 for him, 9 key passes, 2 clear-cut chances, and an assist for Glory Nzingo to give us that win, which was rather splendid. So that's how we have done in there. As I say, let's go back and have a quick look at this table then. We are top on 82 points. At 6 points clear now of Fulham, who are in second place, and we are some 8 points clear of Burnley, today's opponents. And if we can beat them today, that surely, with I think it's 10 games left to play, surely must put us in a box seat. Having said that, Burnley have won their last 3 matches on the trot, so something's got to give today. Derby are in 4th on 69, well adrift at the moment. I mean, that's 13 points adrift. 13 points adrift. Bournemouth are in 5th on 65. Hull are 6th on 58, just 1 point clear of Birmingham, who are sat outside of the playoff places at the moment. And then there's a bunch of teams, Norwich and Millwall on 56 and Middlesbrough on 55, all going for that place. And of course there is a gap there at the moment, 7-point gap between Bournemouth and Hull, so battling it out to stay in there. Down the bottom end of the table, Plymouth still bottom of the table, 21 points. They are 13 points adrift of Preston, who are sat on the trapdoor, along with Luton, both on 34 points. 6 points above them is Swansea on 40 points. So at the moment, down the bottom there, it's any 3 from 5, basically. Swansea, as I say, at the moment, have a bit of clarity between them and Luton Town. Can't afford to mess up, though. Otherwise, that will disappear very, very quickly. Barnsley are 2 points adrift of Preston and Luton, and Stoke are 6 points adrift of Preston and Luton. Both of them need to get on winning ways. And as you'll see, Stoke have only won 1 of their last 5. Barnsley have drawn 3 of their last 5, but not won anything lately. So they need to get back to some margin of form. That's where we are then as we go into today's games. Burnley is first up at the Bob Lucus. When we played them earlier in the season, it is the only time that we played them. We beat them 2-1 at Turf Moor. Callum Logan, the scorer for Burnley, but we got a 2-goal lead at half-time. Glory Nzingo on 17, Billy G on 48 minutes, and that gave us enough to keep the result in our favour, and we want to do something very similar today if we can. And this is how we line up against Burnley for this Sky Bet Championship match day 37. Virginia is in goal. Joe, G and DeBeo are a defensive line. Linton comes in for the suspended Johnson. He's suspended for 2 games, so he will miss out. Linton there on the left. Lawrence continues on the right. O'Grady Macken continues in midfield with Derry on the left of the attacking midfield with Adamson on the right. Nzingo is sat behind Phil Seeger, who continues to lead the attack up front. He will miss out, of course, in the next game because he is cup-tied. Winterbottom, Olsen, Armitage, Holman, Candlish, Russell Denny, Darcy, Jurich and Wakachu make up the bench. Here we are at the Bob Lucas for this one. Our by now familiar formation. Phil Seeger leading the attack again today. A 4-2-3-1 for Burnley. Graham Potter is their manager. Burnley in third on 74 points. We are first on 82. Burnley playing in yellow tops and white shorts today. First highlight comes 13 minutes in, and it was a ball from O'Grady Macken, and Burnley come away with it. And he's gone out wide to Cole Palmer, and danger ensues. It's a shot, and I think Virginia got fingers to that and pushed it wide. Going in the bottom corner otherwise. Ramsey. Is this Aaron Ramsey? We don't know. This one chipped in. They have a free kick just inside our half. 22 minutes on the clock. Igor with the free kick. And Traore through to Cole Palmer again. And you don't get second chance with Cole Palmer, his 9th goal of the season, and Burnley take a goal lead on 23 minutes. Masengo through to Traore, and Cole Palmer in acres of space, nobody marking him, and he's crossed Virginia. Question whether he was offside. When this ball's played, he's onside, being played on by DeBeo, possibly even Lawrence on this side. Well-timed run. We have a corner on 40 minutes. Jesse Derry with the corner, swung in, and gets his 2nd goal of the season and brings us level on 41 minutes. And another good corner, and well delivered by Jesse Derry, as we'll see it come in. And Joe, with 2 defenders on him, gets it up and gets it past Roddick. Logan with a throw in. 44 minutes on the clock. Logan cuts it back. Nzingo should have cut that out, but Grady Macken does. And we've got a counter on now. Seeger, what's he going to do? He gets it out wide to Derry. Derry in through to Seeger on the return. Seeger puts it away. 7th goal of the season. And on 45 minutes, right on the stroke of half time, we've got our noses in front, and it was well played. Seeger winning this ball. Good counter attack after O'Grady Macken winning that ball. Gets it out to Derry, and he's gone on a run, and Derry just had to hold it up, wait for Seeger, time it perfectly, and Seeger puts it away. And we get another highlight right from the restart. I'm going to have to be very careful here. Need to cut this ball out. It's gone out wide of Palmer. Traore has gone down injured. Nobody near him. And that was cut out. I don't know, Joe getting away with that. And Lawrence just managing to get ahead, keep it away, but it's come back in. Ooh, over the top from, who was it? Oh, Masengo heading it over. See it again from behind. Savio chips it back in, and it's Masengo. Couldn't get it down. No more highlights in that first half. Traore has gone off injured. Not quite sure what is the matter with him, but he has gone off injured right at the end of that first half. 23rd minute, Traore supplying Cole Palmer for them to take the lead. Yao after 41, getting us back on par with from Jesse Derry, and Jesse Derry doing the business again as he fed Sega to give us the lead on 45 minutes. We've had 6 shots, 3 on target, 0.95, 50% of the possession. It's pretty even Stevens. They've had 8 shots, just 2 on target, 1.60 and 50% of the possession. Well, we've got a lead at half time. 1, can we hang on to it? And 2, can we add to it? And with 65 minutes on the clock, making 2 changes. Josiah Linton not having a good day out there. He's been replaced by Jack Holman. Jack Holman, of course, plays on the right side. So Lawrence has shifted over to the left. And our final change for the moment is Stefan Adamson. Again, not having a great day out there. Of course, coming back from injury, so he's not 100%. And he's replaced today by Zoran Juric. Oh, first highlight, 83 minutes into the second half. And we don't want things to happen now. Palmer crosses in. And Neil puts it wide. And from the ensuing goal kick, it's Joe. Joe to De Bayo. De Bayo finds O'Grady Macken out to Holman. Just thinking about some more changes, actually. Holman, who's come on. De Bayo. De Bayo. Oh, we lost and won that ball back. Nzingo. What's Nzingo going to do with this? Nzingo out wide to Lawrence, who's on the other side this time. Lawrence cuts inside, cross it in. O'Grady Macken turns his 8th goal of the season, and it's a 3-1. And we take a lead on 86 minutes. A lead of 2 goals. And surely we have buried Burnley for the 2nd time this season. Lawrence creating the space. It was deflected away. Didn't get the cross in. He had 2 players there waiting for it. O'Grady Macken, though, recycling and firing it past Roddick. And with 86 minutes pretty much on the clock, we're making 2 more changes. O'Grady Macken, who's had a good game out there, but he's tired now. He's been replaced by Russell Denny, and Glory Nzingo also tired. He's been replaced by Ronan Darcy. They have a free kick. We are in the 3rd minute of 4 added on. It's come back off the post. De Bayo picks up the deflection. Joe fires this one forward. And it is all over. We have beaten them by 3 goals to 1, 2-1 at half time. O'Grady Macken on 86 minutes, adding to the scoreline. We had 11 shots, 4 on target. They had 17 shots and 5 on target. Certainly outnumbered us. They should have probably had more. 2.48 their XG against our 1.41. But we've put our chances away, which is really good news. 51% of the possession to their 49. Jesse Derry picking up another player of the match. 2 key passes, 2 clear-cut chances, and 2 assists. He's had a fantastic day out there. Goals from Sega, O'Grady Macken, and Joe, giving us a 3-1 win over Burnley. And so with the full programme of games, this is how the day has gone. We've increased our lead at the top to 8 points now over Fulham, who are in 2nd place. They only managed a draw against Sheffield United. They did take the lead after 24 through Cho, but Brewster getting the equaliser on 87 means it was 1-1, which, as I say, increases our lead over Fulham by to 8 points, which is rather splendid. And we are 11 points clear of Burnley now, having beaten Burnley 3 goals to 1 today. And that is quite a mark at the top of the table there. as we go down to 9 games left to play. Derby County are in 4th place, having beaten Norwich by 3-1 on 72 points. Then come Bournemouth, 4-1 winners over Coventry today in 5th. Hull City remain in 6th place on 61 points. Birmingham move up into 7th place on 60 points. They beat West Brom by 4-0. Millwall move up into 8th, having beaten Stoke by 3-2. And there is the top of the table. Down the bottom end, Plymouth remain on the bottom, having lost 1-0 to Swansea. Stoke, as we've already mentioned, 3-2 losers to Millwall. Barnsley, they've not had a fantastic day today either. They lost 1-0 to Portsmouth, which means they remain in 22nd. Preston also not having a good day, I'm guessing, because they are 2 points still, losing 3-2 to Queen's Park Rangers. So they remain in 21st. Luton Town, they lost 4-2 at home to Nottingham Forest, which means they remain in 20th place. They are now 9 points adrift of Swansea after Swansea getting that win against Plymouth. So, as I said before, it's only 3 from 5, and it's becoming more and more so down the bottom end of the table. Right, it's a match. It's an FA Cup match against Arsenal. Never played them before. They are a Premier League side, of course. And if we're going to aspire, and our current position says we are likely to get there, then we're going to be playing the likes of Arsenal next season. So we really want to see how we can compete against them. Obviously, earlier in the season, we did get knocked out by Newcastle in the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup. It was a 3-1 loss on that occasion. It'd be nice to get through to a semi-final. Our first semi-final in any competition. It would be rather nice. We'll come back ahead of the day with any team news for you. We've got 7 days down to the game against Arsenal, so we will be back in due course. And we have reached match day of the FA Cup quarter-final against Arsenal, the last championship side, the lowest side left in the FA Cup. Tottenham have beaten Blackburn by 1-0. And to get through to the semi-final, Manchester United and Everton and Chelsea and Manchester City playing tomorrow in the game. But our opponents today, Arsenal, currently top of the Premier League. They are in first place in the Premier League, and their recent form is fairly good. They've been knocked out of the Champions League, though, in the round of 16, losing 3-1 in Madrid. And then only managing a 1-1 draw on Tuesday night in that competition. So they'll be feeling a little bit roughed up, as it were. But in the Premier League, they have gone a number of games. The last time they lost in the Premier League was a 2-1 loss back in January against Brentford. So that's where we are today. A game against Arsenal then. Phil Seeger is cup-tied. Carl Johnson suspended. And Travis Patterson is still out with a twisted ankle. They're missing Joran Timber, who is out with a twisted ankle. Otherwise, let's have a look at the team that will face Arsenal. And here is how we line up against Arsenal in this Emirates FA Cup quarter-final. The furthest we've ever been in this competition. Virginia is in goal. It's Joe, G and De Bayo, our defensive line. Lawrence is on the left today. Holman on the right. O'Grady Macken in that midfield. Derry is on the left. Adamson on the right. Nzingo sits behind Wakachu as Sega is cup-tied, so he can't make a start today. And the bench looks like this. Winterbottom, Olsen, Armitage, Linton, Candlish, Russell Denny, Darcy, Jurich and Stewart make up the bench. Here we are at the Bob Lucas for this FA Cup tie. And our usual formation. They've won 3 of their last 5, lost 1 and drawn 1, playing a 4-3-3 with a defensive midfielder. Ugarte is the defensive midfielder. First highlight comes 11 minutes in, and Arsenal giving the ball away. They're playing in yellow and black stripes today. Nzingo, Derry goes out wide to Holman. Holman, it's inside Lawrence. Lawrence curls that one in there, and what a goal! His first goal of the season. And goodness me, what a goal that could be. That's my goal of the season. What a curled shot. He just teed this up. Holman saw him in no marking, and he decided to hit it in a lovely curled shot. They have a free kick. 30 minutes on the clock. It's been pretty quiet affair up until now. Bukayo Saka around his man. He's in danger land here. Oh, and well, give him too much space, and it looked like Saka was going on his own for a minute, but then fired the shot in, and it was headed in by Duvan. Brandy's men, nobody cutting him off. Who's this here? Joe should have stopped him, and by the time he does, Van Duven getting ahead to it and popping it away. They have a corner, and Martinelli with a corner. It's to the near post. It's gone over the top. Free kick. Odegaard. De Bayo dealing with it. O'Grady Macken's there as well. We have a counter on now. Adamson comes belting up the pitch. Can he get this into the box? Whips it in. It's defended well, though. As you would expect. Declan Rice on the ball. Odegaard. Van Deven. The scorer of the goal. The equaliser, of course. And Rice running onto that, and it's cut out, but given straight back. Win those balls and clear them. And he's been brought down, and the referee points to the penalty spot. And it looks like we're going to go in behind Saka, unless Yao Virginia can make a save, and he can. And De Bayo pumps it away, and we're level. Saka straight down the middle, and Yao Virginia making a fine save. Question of whether it went over the line, and that's still not helping me in any manner, shape or form. Wow, half-time has arrived, and 10 shots they've had, 4 on target, 2.23 on the XG. They should have had a second goal, but we've held them at bay. We've had 3 shots, 2 on target, 0.07, and 44% of the possession against their 56. We took the lead on 12. They equalised on 31. Well, what can I say? We're in a position where it's all level at half-time, but we've got to be better in the second half and put whatever chances come our way away. Six minutes on the clock. First highlight of this second half, and they have a free kick. Odegaard on the ball. Saliba. Odegaard. Back to Saliba. And they're looking for a way through. They'll turn the gas up in a moment. And that cut out by De Bayo. Rice is injured, and De Bayo's got sent off. And just what we didn't want to happen, sending off of James De Bayo. Straight red, and he's had a poor game. And we've replaced him with Olsen, taking off Nzingo, who's had to be forfeited for Olsen. And that's what we've done. And a bit disappointing that that's how we've done. I'm just wondering whether to make another change while we're at it. O'Grady Macker not at his best. So we're going to play a Reece Russell-Denny in that midfield, see if we can turn anything on. But it's more now of a case of hanging on in there. They have a corner. Odegaard's 70 minutes on the clock. They've scored. And it's William Saliba giving them the lead. And they're in front for the first time on 70 minutes. And, down to 10 men. It's a hard enough task as it is. And it's even harder now. And with 81 minutes on the clock, looking down the barrel of going out of the FA Cup, down to 10 men, we make our final 3 changes. We have taken off Stefan Adamson and replaced him with Darcy on the right. Jesse Derry, who's had a good match, but he's tired. He is replaced by Juric, and finally up front, Wakachu, not having any shots really of any sort, has been replaced by Ross Stewart. Odegaard with a free kick, 85 on the clock, swung in. Yow, Virginia parrying that ball, and Ugarte puts it in the back of the net on 86 minutes. It's 3-1 and we are out. We're not going to come back from this. While it was level, we had a bit of room to manoeuvre, but Yale Virginia spilling that ball for Ugarte. Another free kick, 95th minute of 5 added on. Odegaard, and they scored another one. Off the training ground, Ortiz getting and making it look very, very simple. 4-1, this one in, and and you can't blame Yale Virginia. At the end of the day, he's thwarted them really when you look at it, and it's all over. Comprehensively beaten by Premier League team, and really we're going to struggle, I think, when we go up, if we go up. 23 shots, 11 on target, 4.62 on the old XG for Arsenal, 62% of the possession. I mean, we really, once we had De Bayo sent off, that was the end of our day, really. We had 4 shots, meaning we only had 1 shot in that second half. No more on target, and 0.13, 38% of the possession. Been a bit of a poor day and a little bit dismal. Saliba picking up player of the match, 1 key pass, 1 clear cut chance, and a goal for him. He's done rather well. And, disappointed. Yale Virginia, our best player, a 7.8, and obviously with 10 shots, 11 shots on target. He's managed to keep the bulk of them out. And, we played well for about the first 20 minutes, and then it all went downhill rapidly. Before we round up on the other FA Cup matches, just to bring you up to date on what's happened in the Championship, and I think things have been going in our favour. I think we started the day some 8 points clear of Fulham. We are now, by my reckoning, 7 points clear, which means that they've drawn again, does it? Fulham. They have drawn 2-2 with Portsmouth. So they've only closed the gap by 1 point, which means if we can win our game in hand, we'll be 10 points clear of Fulham in second. And we would be something like 11 points clear of Burnley. Burnley beating Luton Town by 5-3. And Derby County, of course, that game in hand will be the game in hand over Derby when we get round to it. Bournemouth are in 5th place on 71 points. Hull City are 6th on 64. We are some 22 points clear now of Birmingham in 7th place, just outside those playoff places. I think we've pretty much guaranteed ourselves playoff places, if nothing else. And at the other end of the table, Barnsley getting a 0-0 draw against Swansea means they've closed the gap on Luton Town, who had lost, of course, 5-3 to Burnley. Preston, 2-2 draw against Coventry, takes them above Luton for the time being, but still 9 points adrift of Swansea in 19th place as it currently stands. Stoke are in 23rd place. They obviously, without a manager, losing 3-0 to West Brom, and Plymouth. They've won again, beating Norwich by 1-0 for a first win for a long, long time. They're on 24 points, 10 points adrift of Luton down the bottom of the table there. Quick roundup on the FA Cup scores for you. Just the 2 games so far been played. Tottenham beating Blackburn, Arsenal beating ourselves, which means we are out of the cup. Just need to concentrate on getting promotion and putting a decent team together that's going to battle well against Premier League opposition next season. That's going to be a toughie for sure, which could be our final season here in the save, because obviously our Football Manager 25 is looming. And news hopefully sometime this week. Right, we're going to play Stoke offline. Stoke currently 23rd in the table. We're going to come back for Preston, who are currently 20th, and Derby County, who are 4th, because it's going to be quite an interesting game that, as it is. And then probably what we'll do is, let's have a look, probably Middlesbrough and Coventry, playing Nottingham Forest and Queen's Park Rangers offline, come back for the final 2 games of the season. Portsmouth currently in 11th place, Birmingham currently in 7th, as we look to try and secure. It depends, that running depends when we're likely to secure our promotion. We'll see how that falls out nearer the time. Well, bit of a strange episode. Of course, that decent 3-1 win against Burnley, and played extremely well. But going down 4-1 against Arsenal, knocked out in the quarter-final yet again. Quarter-final of the Carabao Cup, quarter-final of the FA Cup, both against Premier League opposition. But there is how it has gone and how it does go from time to time. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode, though. If you have, don't forget to leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button. That keeps you up to date with all future episodes of Bottom to the Top and our other series, Going Dutch, as they are released. And new episodes of Bottom to the Top released every Tuesday and Friday, 4:15 p.m. Best way of keeping up to date what's happening on this channel is follow me on X at JustOffside2. This came out on a Wednesday because we've had a little bit of a problem, so we sorted it out. We will be back to normal, should be out on Friday, the next episode. And of course, thank you for watching. Hope to see you for the next episode. It's going to be episode 120. Till next time, goodbye.